So as a programmer, House feels like a really safe option. I always think that they have an offer that's accessible, diverse, and really entertaining. That's one of the most important things.
So if I think back, the success we've had is that I now get emails most days from companies who might have heard of us, or somebody within a company has mentioned us. And that really is in a large part down to House.
One really good bonus for having a relationship with House and that connection is the Edinburgh Fringe. That's been brilliant. If you're looking for any kind of work, powerful, thought-provoking work that triggers conversations, things about politics and all that kind of stuff, that's Edinburgh. And obviously they come with understanding of cost, and then if you've got subsidies coming in from organisations like House, bring those kind of works to venues like us, like promoters like myself, can programme them.
And we are, as Frozen Light, actually a similar age to House. And when we were first starting out, House toured our very first show, Tunnels. We were really struggling to put our first ever tour together. We create work for a really small audience of 6 people at a time. It's not something that venues necessarily find easy to programme. And we had got a 6-venue tour together nationally, but then House came in and booked us 12 venues almost immediately in the southeast of England, making it an 18-venue tour for our first ever tour, which means that we've been able to now do extensive tours across the country, and we're really, really known for our long tours, and we wouldn't have achieved that ever without House supporting our first tour.
And in particular during the lockdown with the afternoon teas, the ability to come together with other people who are still working and still struggling to make things happen was a really useful opportunity for all of us.
House networking meetings as well have been amazing. I've learned so much from the actual speakers that have been in there, and just being a programmer can be quite a lonely job. You are going to shows on your own, you are sitting at your desk, you are sat in theatres. So being able to meet up with people doing the same work as you, picking their brains. We can't have it all, we can't know it all, so that's been invaluable.
So I first met the amazing House team back when I was new in post here at the Seagull, back in 2015. I was invited to go along to the garage in Norwich to speak about the Seagull and do a pitch up. I was so nervous, it was terrifying for me to think about speaking in front of a load of people that I didn't know, but I did it, and from that very first pitch up I have met the most amazing people who I am still in touch with now. I've met so many creatives, I've worked with lots of them, I've had the opportunity to go to Edinburgh and meet up with other theatre managers, we've gotten to share tours through House. It's just been amazing. Having the opportunity post-pandemic to go to London earlier this year and do another pitch up made me realise just how far I've come and just how much my relationship with House has developed, and I just want to say happy 10th birthday and here's to the next 10 years.
Another thing that House offered as part of being a part of their network was training. So I got some training about diversity and inclusivity in my venue, both in terms of the programming but also the audience. And that was a really brilliant offer because it allowed me to create a programme that I felt was well-rounded and gave me a real insight into how to expand both the programme that I was offering, but also how to bring that programme to the audiences that needed to see it, which was invaluable to me as a freelancer who is, I freelance programme, so I'm not always going to get that as part of my organisation.
The relationship that we formed with House Theatre is actually going to change not just the way that we operate, but the way that we create work in the future, because we now realize that there's a market out there, there's a huge market out there, and we don't need to sit around and wait for people to come to venues to come and see work. We can now take that work out to the people. At the end of the day, theatre is about sharing stories with audiences, and this has been made really easy for us. We now understand a little bit more about what people want as well as a result of the feedback that we've been able to collect throughout this tour.
from memory, I think the first show we had with them was Frozen Lights, which was a show for young adults with PMLD. And perfect relationship, because you've got a company who are subsidising another company who are putting on an event that you can, as a promoter, you can only sell maybe 12 tickets for, so you kind of really do need that subsidy. But the success story is we've continued to program them and use other forms of funding to bring them back.
Grounded, I mean, was just, I think because it was so long ago now, people, if you sat them down and said, do you remember this show? This is our regulars, and said there was a wonderful show. They built like a cube, and inside it was a female pilot, and she was a drone pilot, and her job was to basically kill people remotely, and it was absolutely amazing.
But I think my favourite of all time was the Super Happy show about being super sad. And I brought a couple of friends to it, who are not very big theatre goers, and they've been coming now since that show to other things and risking coming to other things.
And we really recognise that the decisions that the programming team at House have made over the years to make sure that there is always something in the programme which speaks to a younger audience, always something that's going to push slightly at the boundaries of the kind of work that goes out, which means that we can use it as a tool as part of our audience development and our work here at the venue.
The Penguin is an example. Long-nosed puppets came down here, didn't know us, we didn't know them, I didn't know them, and now they're regular returners to the venue.
The venue that I work at is also on a school campus, so we have a lot of students coming to the shows, and we had Here's What She Said to Me, which was a brilliant offer for the students. It really opened their minds to different kinds of theatre from across the world, and also they connected with the company afterwards. We had a Q&A which House offered, and it gave them a real insight into the production, and they also just got to chat to the actors, which they found completely invaluable and really kind of rounded out their experience of the whole thing. And we got people into that show that had never stepped foot in our venue before, which was brilliant.
Just want to say to have a really big thank you.
Yes, thank you.
To all the venues you introduced us to 10 years ago, like Phoenix Borden, Key Arts Isle of Wight, who else?
Mercury, Colchester.
Yes, Mercury, Colchester. I think in fact over 17 venues you introduced us to. So really big thank you, House, and well, do keep on doing what you do. It's brilliant, isn't it?
It's been great.
Yeah, it's been great. Yeah, it's really good.
We absolutely love working with House. We love everything they do, and we just want to say a massive happy birthday. Happy birthday.